Hello, and welcome to this episode of How To with Tyler. Today, we're going to learn how to use the Live Meta Player on the DNR Studios website to listen to your favorite DNR Studios shows, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll begin by learning how to access the Live Meta Player via a desktop, and then we'll apply those same concepts to accessing the player via an iPhone or an iPad. Using the Live Meta Player, a DNR Studio show subscriber can listen to any show available on the DNR Studios Network. Even single show subscribers can choose to listen to any other DNR Studio show via the Live Meta Player. The Live Meta Player is very similar to a traditional radio. Each show is located on a separate channel, and switching between channels allows the listener to jump between streaming broadcasts of each show. All you need to access the Live Meta Player is an active subscription to at least one show hosted by DNR Studios and an internet connection, either via Wi-Fi on your desktop or a cellular service on your phone. To begin, open your web browser of choice on a desktop computer. For the purposes of this video, I'll be using Safari on a Mac OS X-based computer, but the experience is relatively the same across all desktop and browser platforms. Navigate to the DNR Studios website by visiting dnrstudios.com. In the top right corner of the screen, click on Login. Enter your DNR Studios subscription username or email address in the top field and your password in the bottom field. Use the same credentials you used when you first signed up for your subscription. Then click Login. In the middle of the menu bar at the top of the screen, click on the Play drop-down item and select Live Player. Scroll down and locate the Meta Player towards the middle of the page. The Live Meta Player is available 24 hours a day, with each show's last live broadcast playing on a continuous loop. If you tune in during the scheduled live broadcast of a show, you'll be listening to that live broadcast in real time. By default, the Meta Player is tuned to the DNR Studios Welcome channel. To start listening, press the large play button in the middle of the playback window.
At DNR Studios.
And if you need more help, just click Help or check out the frequently asked questions on this website for more information.
Use the speaker button to mute or unmute the volume, or slide the volume indicator up or down to adjust the volume accordingly. Use the Play/Pause button to start or pause playback. Use the Skip Back 60 Seconds button to skip backwards in time by 1-minute intervals. Use the Skip Forward 60 Seconds button to skip forwards in time by 1-minute intervals. Note, this button only works if you've already skipped backwards in time, since you can't advance forward past the live broadcast. Use the Live button to return to the live broadcast if you've skipped backwards in time. You can tell if you're caught up with the live broadcast by looking for the red dot next to the Live button. Note, unless you've tuned in during the live show, what you're listening to is the live rebroadcast of the last live taping of the selected show. Located to the right of the playback window, you'll see a drop-down menu displaying the name of the currently selected channel and show. Click on that drop-down menu to select any of the other DNR Studios hosted shows. Then click the large play button in the playback window again to start listening to that show.
So finally, she comes over to me. She's like, "I'm really sorry if I'm being an asshole." I'm like, "Okay."
Beneath the channel selector drop-down menu, you'll find two buttons that will allow you to quickly skip backwards in time by 1 or 2 hours. These buttons are similar to the skip backwards or forwards by 60 seconds buttons we discussed earlier, except these buttons skip backwards by 1 or 2 hours.
It is somebody who.
And so I was like not feeling Iris when she was here, but then they left, and now everything's fine.
Any DNR Studio subscriber can use the Live Meta Player to listen to any other show on the network, even shows you might not be subscribed to. So you're free to enjoy hours of quality shows at no additional charge.
And he's going to force his shareholders to keep losing this revenue. So the next steps are as follows. At some point in the next couple months, there's going to be...
And me. Yeah. So I can never, because I'm completely afraid my boobs are going to pop out. Because now I'm somebody's mom, so I'm going to be the mom with the boobs out.
Yep.
If you discover more shows you love and decide you want the ability to download entire episodes, or listen while out of the range of an internet connection, consider upgrading your subscription to DNR Plus, and follow the instructions in my How to Use the Private Subscription URL video to add more DNR Studios shows to your podcast app. Now we'll apply the same concepts we learned for accessing the live meta player on a desktop to accessing the player on an iPhone. First, open the Safari web browser on your iPhone and visit the DNR Studios website at dnrstudios.com. Tap on the menu button on the top left side of the screen, scroll down, and select Login. Enter your DNR Studios subscription username or email address in the top field and your password in the bottom field. Use the same credentials you used when you first signed up for your subscription. Then tap Login. Tap the menu button again in the top left corner of the screen, then tap the Play drop-down item, then tap Live Player. Scroll down until you see the Meta Player. You'll notice that the Meta Player is too large to display entirely on your iPhone screen when holding your iPhone in vertical, otherwise known as portrait, orientation. The portion of the Meta Player visible on your screen may be more or less depending on the model iPhone you're using and what your individual screen settings are. In order to access all the controls on the Meta Player, rotate your phone to horizontal, otherwise known as landscape, orientation. Then use the pinching motion with your fingers on your phone screen to zoom out and expose the entire live Meta Player. Tap your finger on the large play button in the playback window to start listening. Just like on the desktop, the Meta Player defaults to the DNR Studios Welcome channel.
At DNR Studios.
And if you need more help, just click Help or check out the frequently asked questions on this website for more information.
The same playback controls we discussed for the desktop version are also available on your iPhone and function exactly the same here as they do on the desktop. Tap the Channel Selector drop-down menu to the right of the playback window and select a different show by swiping up or down in the list that appears. Once the show you want to listen to is highlighted, tap Done to select it. Then tap the large play button in the playback window again to start listening.
Now I'm fine. So, but yeah, but no, her brother.
At any time, you may need to use the pinch to zoom out technique again to expose the entire live Meta Player and gain access to all the controls. Just like on the desktop, you have the option to jump back 1 or 2 hours in the broadcast using these two buttons underneath the channel selector. Lastly, we'll do a brief overview applying these same concepts to use the live Meta Player on an iPad. After logging into the DNRstudios.com website, tap the Play drop-down menu at the top of the screen, then select Live Player. Scroll down until you see the live Meta Player. Because iPads have larger screens, you should be able to see the entire live Meta Player in either portrait or landscape orientation. I'll be using landscape orientation in this video. Tap the large play button in the playback window to start listening. As before, the live Meta Player defaults to the DNR Studios Welcome channel. You can select any other show using this drop-down menu. And the same playback controls we discussed for the desktop and iPhone versions are also available here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more DNR Studios how-to videos.